What's up, y'all? This Mills,
Miss Kelly.
and this
It's
is the
Code.
code. You know what I'm saying? We just here to talk about how to cultivate, optimize,
Develop and elevate your mind. And today, I got two people for you. Totally different lifestyles, but the same ingredient to success. That's something we're gonna hop into later.
You know what I'm saying? Today we're gonna piggyback off of last week's episode and talk a little bit about mindset. You know what I'm saying? Because coming off perspective, you know what I'm saying, we gotta understand that your mindset is gonna be your best friend when it comes to wherever you're trying to elevate in life, whether it be your personal life, work life, relationships. You gotta have the right mindset and understanding of what your long-term goal is so you can push through and fight for whatever it is you're trying to accomplish.
Facts. And check out the last episode where we went over perspective and how important that is. It's basically a part 2 to that, because mindset, perspective, it all goes into one.
So without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's get into the code.
All right, y'all. So let's get into mindset, because when we think about mindset and what it applies to your everyday life, the way you think and see the world around you and the way you choose to attack things is going to really be what make or break everything that you got going on. So your mindset has to be strong, persistent. You know what I'm saying? You got to be self-aware and also be able to hold yourself accountable. And I feel like that's the part that a lot of people lack. And why on the last episode, when we were talking about therapy and recommended therapy, it's for those that lack the self-awareness and that lack the self-accountability. Because if you self-aware and you self-accountable and you know how to really be honest with yourself when you fucking up or you making wrong decisions, or you know that you not going down the right track, then you might not need a therapist, because you know how to take a step back and be like, okay, I need to readjust. But if you don't, then that therapist can be that. Therapy ain't always got to be about trauma and healing from stuff. You may not have nothing to heal from, but you might need somebody that from the outside looking in can tell you, all right, based on what you told me you trying to accomplish, this is not helping. You need to restructure what you're thinking about doing or how you move in here so that you can accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. Because when you go to your therapist, that's their job, is to help you accomplish whatever it is you here to accomplish. So, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you being honest with yourself and them about what you're trying to accomplish, and they'll make sure that your mindset and perspective is going down the right path.
And that's facts, man. That's facts. Because like when you got your mindset of failure, that's what you really gonna get, because you already thinking it. You thinking it into existence. So it's a difference from having that fixed mindset of today is gonna be horrible versus let's see how we can make today a great day. Both of those sentences just carry different energies, and that's what it's all about. Because you know what I mean. It's like, to dumb it down, you can breathe without thinking. But what if you could hit all your goals without thinking about them? Because you carrying that mindset where it's almost second nature. So always be mindful of yourself when it comes to your surroundings and internally what you're actually thinking. Because what's going on around you versus how you perceive it, it can all make influence your decision basically. So carrying that good mindset is no bad side to it. Like literally, like people who got road rage, like come on, we'll get there. How can you be so upset about traffic? Like when it's really time for crunch time, how you gonna operate?
So let me hop in real quick. And you know why? They not mad about traffic, fam. They mad because they not doing what they know they supposed to do. So
It's something else. Yeah.
everything in their life is a issue. Everything in their life is a negative. It's a problem because it's not really what they want to be doing, should be doing, supposed to be doing. Like, you can do things, but subconsciously your brain knows when you fucking up and when you not doing what you meant to be doing, or what's not disciplined, and when you full of distractions. It's like,
Right.
and that's the part where you got to be able to be self accountable to make sure you getting rid of destructive habits. destructive people, destructive environments, whatever the case may be, things that are not truly benefiting you. So it don't be the traffic they be mad at. It be all the
Mm-hmm.
other shit that they did that didn't align with what they were supposed to be doing. They working a job that they don't want to be at. All them things that's boiling up and making these emotions to the point where no matter what it is, it's
Right.
traffic, it's the lady at the grocery store, it's the kid making too much noise on the elevator,
Anything
it's
they like that.
anything they want to be mad at, they gonna justify it because they got all these emotions that they don't know what to deal with because they not taking time to invest in themselves the way that they supposed to. They doing everything
Right.
for everybody else. And that's again, when it comes to your mindset, you got to put you first.
And that remind me of the C.O.D.E the most, because we are all basically the results of previous decisions. So you eat all them Skittles, the result is you're gonna see some extra fat. So when you think about it in that way, if you go ahead and plant a seed today and you do everything you need to do to water that seed, to grow that seed, cultivate that seed, the next step is gonna be great because you made great decisions to this one little seed to bless you in the future.
And when we talk about seeds, we're not talking about things that feel good in the moment. We're not talking about instant gratification. We're talking about stuff that's gonna have a long term payout. When you plant a seed for any type of food you're trying to grow, it's not instant. You're not gonna wake up tomorrow and have a bunch of strawberries. You're
And
gonna have to.
it doesn't have to be tangible. You know what I mean? Planting that seed in your mind to, this is what I'm going to commit to every day because I know this will be, well, this is kind of what I'm supposed to be doing, instead of going towards what you know you're not supposed to be doing. Now you getting mad at traffic. You done did all these things you're supposed to do all day. Traffic ain't nothing. Traffic ain't mess with
Uh-uh.
me.
Because you discipline, you know what the goal is, and when you got a disciplined mindset, you're gonna let go of temporary fun for the long-term longevity goal of whatever it is that I got in mind, because you understand what's actually important. And when you applying yourself to what's actually important, the things that are unimportant can't shake nor bother you, because it's not gonna be enough to get you off what you know you need to be focused on. Because if I'm trying to build something and be great, investing in my emotions is nothing but a distraction. So I have to make sure that what I'm investing in is only going to move me forward. And when I keep that type of mindset, anything that's not moving me forward, why would I invest energy into it? Why would I give it my time and effort when I got things that need my time and effort? And you just, again, your mindset is going to be the key to making sure that those things don't happen, because we all human. We all get to a point where things just boil up and like somebody got to feel me, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But when you sit back and remember them long term goals and things that you're trying to do, you remember not to crash out, especially with people that don't have as much to lose as you know what I'm saying? So again, removing those negative environments, negative people, destructive habits, you got to really understand how disciplined you need to be to accomplish what you're looking for. And if you don't have the right mindset, it's going to be over before you even start.
Exactly. And like I told you, it's two people, a crackhead and Diddy. They got the secret ingredient to being successful, because your decisions come from that mindset, but that relentlessness, man, a crackhead gonna do whatever it takes to go get some crack. We know Diddy is doing this thing right now, like as far as whatever he got going on, but that doesn't negate the fact that he actually built multi-million companies. Or,
Yeah, as a
you
businessman,
see what
his
I'm
work
saying?
ethic, his persistence, his drive is unmatched. And it's the same thing, like he said, with a crackhead. When a crackhead want to
Come on.
accomplish getting a crack rock, there is not nothing you can't tell. They will unhook your carburetor and your catalytic converter for $3.
Watch the car too.
There is nothing too great or too impossible. And that's the type of mindset that you got to have when it comes to your goals and your dreams or whatever it is that's important to you. You got to treat it like there's nothing that can stop me from accomplishing what I need to accomplish, because the minute you give weight to this ain't gonna work, it's not.
Exactly. And that's when you start making bad decisions. So we basically covered the importance of mindset, how you should recognize a bad mindset when it comes to if you're easily frustrated, take a deeper look into yourself and see if am I really mad about there's no more milk or no more eggs, or am I mad because I didn't go to work that last week. I put in some time, but I ain't have enough because previous decisions I couldn't get the milk. I was doing something else. Is that the real reason, the root cause of the frustration?
Right. Is it that there's no more milk, or is it that you didn't prioritize your funds so that there could be milk?
Which one is it?
So, and I challenge everybody to just really, you know what I'm saying, try to find something that you know you need to let go of, whether it be some unhealthy food, an unhealthy habit, an unhealthy relationship. Like, try to start separating from those destructive things in your life and making sure that everything that you bring around you is helping you elevate or helping you bringing some type of nutritional value. And when I say nutritional value, I'm not just talking about for your body, but for your mind and your soul. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
Exactly.
giving you something positive to feed on, regardless of where it's coming from.
Right, right. And that's how you're going to be able to develop your time into something great so you can elevate. All right, so next up, y'all, want to dive into some tools that you can use.
So just some things that in this quest to change your mindset will help you see a different perspective if that's hard for you to do on your own, or you don't have anybody to go to. Because that, again, another reason that I recommend therapy is because you want to have somebody that has an unbiased opinion or be able to give you an unbiased answer on whatever it is that you need, because your friends and family may want to see a certain outcome for you. So going to them all the time may not be your best answer, because they're going to tell you to do what they think is going to get you where they want you to be, and that may not be where you want to be. So having somebody that, again, understands what you're trying to accomplish, you know what I'm saying? So, but outside of that, you know what I'm saying, if you're not going to therapy, you can audio book, you know what I'm saying, or a really good audio book that I recommend is the 12 Universal Laws. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a great book to help you understand how the universe works and to use the laws of the universe in your favor to help you manifest. Because again, your mindset is going to be everything when it comes to accomplishing what you need and want. So being able to see your dreams and manifest them in the way that you want is going to start with your perspective and your mindset. You know what I'm saying? And one
Yeah.
of the things that book really touches on is gratitude, because that's one of the things that you cannot you can't manifest and you don't appreciate what you already have. The universe is not going to give you more. You know what I'm saying? Like, so learning to see that what you have is enough, but still striving to want to have more.
That's facts. And man, it's like time or life. It's like the shortest thing and the longest thing ever at the same time. Like life is short, but it's the longest thing you'll ever do. So we all got the same amount of time in the week. So when it comes to me, I had to shift my mindset and use tools. You talking about audio books? So I grabbed a book with no words in it. It was my job to put words in. So I started journaling. You know what I mean? I wrote down probably about 2 pages worth of the man I want to be. I just took some time, 10 to 15 minutes, wrote 2 pages worth of the type of man I want to become. And you got to be detailed in what you're trying to do. So once I did that, I made it my task to read that every morning to remind myself this was my book, the actual book. You know what I mean?
You're the
This was
author.
I was the author of my book. I said I wanted to do this, so how can I keep doing this? So I just kept going with my journaling. You know what I mean? How I was feeling at the time, at the moment. Was I super upset that day around 6:50? Why was I upset? What went down at 6:50 yesterday? So now I can keep track. And if I can get a pattern on what's going on in my life, I can go back and read my past version of myself, how I felt at the moment, and see how my current self and the perspective of what I have now, how do they differ? Does that same first page of the guy I want to be in the future align to day 30 of myself? And that alone can put a nice mindset and accountability to it. You know what I
Right.
mean? You write in your own book to your life.
Because you can go back and say, I said I was going to do this, but what did I actually do? What did I make of this that I said? You know what I'm saying? Hold yourself accountable and really
Yeah.
be able to sit back and say, like, am I doing what I said or am I just talking? You know what I'm
And
saying?
like you
Like,
say, the family gonna tell you what they want you to hear.
yeah,
This is you telling yourself what you wanted to hear on whatever January 1st or whatever date it may be, to 3 weeks later, 2 days later, 1 week later. Are you still aligned with that same goal? And if not, that's when you can dive in to figure out what's going on. How can I help me? You know?
yeah. And another book I would recommend is Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's a book about
Yeah.
being
That's a good
financially
one.
successful, but I think it has great great advice on just mindset and perspective and being able to be successful in anything that you do. Because though it is about financial success, one of the big things that it talks about is when you get hit with adversity, instead of just turning your brain off and being like, oh, I can't do this,
Yeah.
which in the book he was talking about being able to afford things. And like, instead of saying I can't afford this, he would say, how can I afford this? How
Mm-hmm.
can I bring in the money to be able to afford this? So instead of telling himself no and just giving up and not working harder, you know what I'm saying? He found a way to keep his brain working, keep his brain thinking, to find different ways, another avenue. And that's just the same way with anything else that you're doing, whether it be finances, personal life. When I hit a hurdle or adversity, how can I find a way to overcome it versus just being like, oh shit, it's a wall here, man. I ain't guess I can't go no further. When if you look around, it might be a door or it might be a window. Like, you might have to put in some work to
You
get
might
to
have
the
to.
other side, but
You might have to.
you can't just because somebody bumped into you, stop walking and not go to your destination. You know what I'm saying? So I think that again is a great book for mindset, just being able to see how to find another way to look at things instead of just giving up on it.
Yeah, and the big thing about the the great thing about books is like you would notice the more you read, different things start to say the same thing but in a different way. So you start to learn different stuff. It starts to compound on top of each other. Now you're starting to understand the world better, yourself, your finances better. So whether it's like you say, Rich Poor Dad, and then what was the first book you recommended to him?
Uh, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then the 12 Universal Laws.
So, and what was the 12 Universal Laws about again?
Just about the different laws of the universe and how all of those things operate, and how against basically that there's 12 universal laws that are undeniable when it comes to existence and the way things operate. And if you understand those laws, you can use them to your advantage so that life is easier, basically, and you're not fighting against the natural order of things and the way things work.
Right. So if you take those 12 universal laws and then you apply that to your life, then you got rich dad, poor dad, you're gonna hear some of the same laws being implemented in the way of thinking.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So like we said earlier, if you go into your day thinking this day is gonna be horrible, your universe is gonna give you a horrible day. It's gonna play out that way in your mind.
Yeah.
Nothing is gonna make your day better because you've already told yourself. And words have power. So it's not so much about what you say, it's how you say it. This wall's right here. I'm done for. Or how can I get around this wall? There's got to be an entrance somewhere.
Absolutely. And when you talk about your words have power, that's one of the things that it talks about in the 12 universal laws is vibration. Everything has a vibration and a frequency. So whether it be your thoughts, the sounds that come from the words that you make, everything has a frequency. And when you put that frequency out, It's like a magnet, and it's going to attract other like things, whether it be events, people, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that is like whatever you're thinking, saying, doing, all of those things are a vibration and a frequency that you putting out into the universe and telling it what to bring to you. That's why if people will tell you your world is a reflection of you, because whatever you put out into the world is what you absolutely gonna get back. So if you keep trying to figure out why things going wrong in your life, you may want to look in the mirror. Just
Yeah.
saying,
And
what are you putting out?
you want to be flexible because different environments are going to give you different feelings. But how you interpret your decision on those feelings, that's going to determine the outcome and what that mindset is. So if the world's coming at you a bad way, let's go ahead and be adaptive to that bad situation, relationship you got going on, finances. It could be anything. How can you react in a way that's going to benefit you? There's no use of crying over spoiled milk. Where's the paper towel? So we challenge you guys, man. Take a second to figure out what's the spoiled milk in your life. What's holding you back from going to that next step, elevating or developing that plan you've been thinking about for the last 4 years? Take a second to go ahead and just think about that. And then we're going to think about what's the paper towel. We're going to need about 10 paper towels. So what are the 10 steps we're going to take to get that spoiled milk that's on the ground into a cup unspoiled? How can we unspoil the milk? That's what we might need to name the episode, Unspoiling the Milk. But when you take that analogy, it's just basically figuring out what you're gonna do to go ahead and change the situation. The situation happened. What's your steps, your next steps to make sure this not happen in the future? And also, how can we make this a positive, matter of fact?
Because I mean, when you think about it, I think that's the problem. Most people focus on the emotion and how they felt when something happened versus how can I move forward and fix this and make sure it don't happen again or I don't feel it again. They get so caught in how it made them feel that they don't learn to protect themselves from feeling like that again. And then it becomes to a point where it does feel like a bad situation, because good is bad is really relative. You know what I'm saying? It's really good and bad are really the same thing, but two opposite ends of the spectrum. So realistically, good and bad depends on your perspective of the situation, because there are good things that have come from bad situations and there are bad things that have come from good situations. So again, it just depends on what side of the spectrum that you're on and how you perceive the event or whatever is going on. So nothing has to be bad if you don't want it to be. It's all on your perspective. You can find the silver lining or the blessing in anything if you want to, and try to find a way to fight through it and push through it. But it's all on your mental fortitude and your ability to want to see the good. And that's again just when you remove those negative habits and those distractions and the things from around you that make it easy to see the bad, it becomes easier to see the good. Because a lot of people put energy into negative things. If you put that same energy into something positive, you'll go a whole lot further.
Excuse me. But right, that goes back into what we were talking about earlier with gratitude, being grateful for all the good things that's going on currently, while also figuring out how to shift the bad things into good. So we do want you to be grateful. You know what I mean? I'm grateful every day I wake up, and we think that being grateful for the small things is a great stepping stone for shifting that mindset. Like if you told yourself, I actually told myself this. I said every day when I get home, I'm gonna put my keys on the key holder. Something small and simple as that. That's a commitment. So every time I get home, them keys, I'll be about to put them on the damn counter. I go ahead and put them on the key holder because I told myself I was gonna do that. So if you can just start with something small, every time I get done brushing my teeth, I'm gonna put the lid back on. Whatever the case may be, starting small is starting. Just having a couple commitments per day, per week, and hitting those per day, per week is gonna go bigger and bigger. It's gonna compound. You know what? Forget this toothpaste. I'm actually gonna write a paper. I'm gonna do my resume again. I'm gonna do 5 resumes this week. you're gonna start challenging yourself to get better and better. And next thing you know, those prior decisions, those prior commitments are gonna be a great outcome. It's gonna be good decisions coming from that.
And again, start somewhere and focus on what you can do. Don't compare to somebody else. Don't, oh, they did it in this time. That's, well, great for them. You know what I'm saying? The thief of your joy is gonna be your comparison to other people. So the best thing you can do is set goals for yourself and do the best you can to accomplish those goals in your own time and what works for you. But also making sure that you still holding yourself accountable, that you are working as hard as you can and not letting yourself slack or not letting yourself or be too lean on yourself. You know what I'm saying? But definitely don't try to compete with somebody else or try to, everybody's journey is different. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta follow your journey according to your pace and what you can handle and the things that you can juggle. So, you know what I'm saying? Just keeping that in mind and making sure that you really, you know what I'm saying, focused on what you got at hand and not trying to keep up with the Johnsons, basically.
Exactly. These are your tools to shift your mindset. You can't use somebody else's tools to shift your mindset, especially if you're not gonna believe in it. They can give you advice, you could tweak it, but this is something that you doing for you. You can't compare what other people are doing for them and then compare it to you because like you say, we're on all different journeys.
Yeah.
So we're just simply giving advice on how we shifted our mindset. Books, journaling, commitments per day, per week. Those things helped us shift our mindset to being, making better decisions the next day and the next day and so on and so forth. So we just basically giving y'all that the same advice, a couple tools to shift your mindset.
Yeah, man. Help you cultivate, optimize, develop, and elevate to the next level, man. You know what's up. It's all about the code.
Exactly. So y'all stay tuned. We're gonna give y'all a little bit more about what we're gonna be talking about next week. And make sure y'all tune in.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. So we've been talking a little bit about mindset and perspective. We're really kind of under the C of code. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to cultivate new skill sets and new perspectives on different things. But we're gonna start moving into optimization a little bit and how to, once you develop these new skills, how to optimize them, but also not get complacent with the stuff that you were already good at. You know what I'm saying? And optimizing your strengths and being able to continue to develop those things as well.
Exactly. And when it comes to optimization, we give y'all some tools to use on how you can optimize time, maybe skills that you're doing, or just simply what you're trying to do. You want to make sure that you're doing everything in a timely fashion so you can get the most out of the day. But we appreciate you guys for go ahead and tuning back in to the code. Make sure y'all link us in on Instagram at Breaking the Code Pod. And we're going to see y'all next time. Y'all stay tuned to the code.